Welcome to Cigar Time, your ever so friendly show all about premium cigars. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Everybody have a good week?
Wonderful.
Sure.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Are you being blinded by the sun?
I am.
You're probably wondering why we're wearing yellow sunglasses. Well, it's the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road, so it could be the Yellow Submarine. No, but it's really
I think
not.
you should stop right now with
I
those
should
jokes.
stop. It's not working?
No.
Not working? Okay.
Not at all.
We're wearing our yellow submarines as a gift from our kind friend Jim Robinson, the owner of Leaf by Oscar. You've been smoking his cigars for years. He did a show or two back, a few years back, and he always visits us when he's in the area. And we're glad to have you back, Jim.
Well, it's always good to be invited back. 'cause
Welcome
not
back,
a lot
yeah.
of places do that.
You're joined by your rep in the
reason.
area,
With Mark Weisenberger.
Burger.
Weisenberger.
Burger.
It's a very long last name.
Yeah.
4 syllables.
We call
Rosenberger.
him very rare burger.
That's me.
Oh, God. Oh, today we're going to be smoking one of Jim's iconic pieces here, the Leaf by Oscar in a Maduro, I understand.
In the Maduro.
It's if we can get to it.
You are.
As you can probably see, as you probably noticed if you walked around our humidors, his cigars have a very different presentation.
Unique.
And if you look at it and keep walking, it can appear as to be very, how to diplomatically put it.
Ugly.
Oh, okay. I was going to try to clean that up, but yeah. All right. So we're gonna smoke. But I like this cigar. Oh, I shouldn't prejudice by saying that.
Hold it up a little higher.
Is Jim? Is that patented?
I have a trade dress on it. It's not a patent, but it's a trade dress.
So no one else can put a
Nobody
lid
else
on
can.
It's best to start with the
Yeah.
It's
Peel
easier
off
to
the-
take the band off first.
band off first, like a candy bar.
Although I do like smoking that band.
Well, the band is actually made out of tobacco. We grind
Yeah.
up tobacco and make paper out of it. So it's tobacco paper.
Cool.
I'm not smoking that. I'm smoking the Island Jim. Actually,
I'm smoking the Leaf, Connecticut.
Island Jim number 2.
number 2.
Does anybody know why it's number 2?
Yeah.
Because it's probably the one after number one.
Yeah. And you know who made the number 1?
Sonia Henny?
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
I thought I just heard it.
Oh,
Sonia Henny.
No.
no, not Sonia Henny.
Eddie Ortega.
Ah.
It was the Island Jim number 1 was the part of the Wild Bunch with Eddie Ortega.
Yes.
And that's where the name Island Jim came from.
That was a good movie, too.
Eddie Ortega did it. Nice.
Love Eddie. Hey, Eddie.
I always give kudos to Eddie because he's the one that nicknamed me Island Jim.
Really? How long ago was that?
That was like 2011.
Wow.
Really nice.
How long have you been making these?
I've been making my version of the Island Jim about 5 years.
Okay.
Very nice. I like the shaggy foot.
Oh, I mean, the whole presentation is very rich. I mean, it just...
It's interesting because, like you say that it's an ugly leaf. I don't think it is. I think it's actually really unique and cool and stuff like that. But when you take it out of the leaf, it's a beautiful cigar.
Beautiful
it
cigar.
really is.
Beautiful wrapper.
Especially the Maduros. It's got a nice shine to it. I think it's great. Who came up with that idea?
Actually, Oscar did. Oscar, everybody know Oscar Valadares makes my cigars for me. He makes the Leaf by Oscar line for me. He makes the Island Jims for me. He makes my Big Johnnies. He makes the Woodies. Oscar.
I think you just gave John a Woody.
Oscar.
Can you say that?
That was that bang under the table.
Oscar seen a picture of a Mayan mummy holding a cigar.
Right.
And it looked like the cigar he was holding was a cigar wrapped in a leaf. And that's
Oh.
where Oscar got that idea from.
Really? That's awesome.
Very interesting.
Cool.
I mean, from day one, this has always called attention.
Yeah.
People walk through the humidors and they see this, and initially people were very confused. They thought, "Do I smoke that like that?" And we had to.
I've seen people try to light it.
Yeah, we then explained to them. I mean, no, you don't. So we're smoking the Maduro. Kind of. What's the blend?
He doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like it.
Oh, you don't want to tell us, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to tell us.
Oh, on that one, I do know the blend of that one.
Oh,
Yeah, that one is all Honduran filler and binder and Nicaragua jalapa wrapper.
okay. So that wasn't that hard.
No, it wasn't.
But if I ask you about another one,
Yeah, that one I may not know. I might just say I just like it.
just like it. Yeah, right. Oh Lord. So, what's the background? You've always had this. You know, I know Eddie came up with the name, but I mean, where did the yellow sunglasses come from?
Actually, I don't even know if Mark remembers this story or knows this story, but I went
He's
to
a pretty
Mark's.
young guy.
I went to Mark's wedding in Brooklyn.
Yes.
I don't know how many years ago that was, but many years ago.
Yeah. 2012.
And I forgot my sunglasses, so I'm walking around the street, and these guys that sell the sunglasses on the boards,
New York, yeah.
you know, for $5. I needed a pair of sunglasses, so I grabbed a pair of yellow sunglasses, put them on, and somebody took my picture. And when Eddie decided to do the Wild Bunch Island Gym, he somehow got a hold of that picture, and he put the yellow sunglasses on the original Island Gym.
Wow.
So I had to continue using the yellow sunglasses.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did not know that.
That's pretty rich.
It's all because
didn't
of.
know
And it's all your
It's all
fault.
your
It's
fault.
all my fault.
If you got married
Somehow-
somewhere else, if you would have
somehow-
got, he might have found like a blue rim glass
Yeah,
or
or
a
put it
black
in
rim,
pink.
but he found yellow.
He could
It's your
have found
fault.
some Elton John type
Yeah,
of
exactly,
sunglasses,
exactly.
like
Yeah.
George Costanza.
That's funny.
Well, I think it's time to give our first impressions. I think 4 of us are smoking the Maduro leaf model, and you're smoking the Island Gym number.
Two.
2.
Do I?
No,
Do they?
only 3 of you are.
Oh, only 3 of
I
them?
have the Connecticut.
Ah, yeah,
Same filler and binder,
Yep, but.
but it's a Connecticut grown in Honduras.
Oh.
So it is technically a Puro.
All 4 of the blends are the same. The only difference is the wrapper.
The wrappers, yeah. John, you want to start out?
Well, as Jim knows, I actually really like this cigar. I like the Maduro. I find it burns very well. The wrapper on initial calf inch, very sweet, and so far so good.
Rob?
What?
That is your name, right?
It is.
I've been calling you that for almost 20 years, so I hope I'm right.
No, I'm going to do a sweet taste from the Maduro. This is a Connecticut tip on that. It's interesting. Like I said, I like the. You can see it has. Well, you can't see it. It's got a shaggy foot, so when you light it, you burn the you get the filler tobacco before you get the wrapper tobacco, and you get the taste of it. It's very interesting. I like it.
Do all your cigars have a shaggy foot?
No,
No.
just the Island Gyms.
Oh, just the Island.
You just lit one of them, and that didn't have a shaggy foot.
Oh, so you're right.
Short-term memory loss here.
Good point. Well, hey, at my age, I can be forgiven. You know,
Is this the first time you ever smoked one of my cigars?
probably. No. I just noticed. It has so much tobacco all over it, so I can be forgiven for forgetting what the foot looked like. Plus, I can't see where the
can't
damn
see.
these glasses.
Who said that?
I did. I said.
Who was that? Oh, there you go. Who's at the end there?
That's the old man. He looks good in yellow.
Yellow and purple.
Yeah, yellow and purple. And his, God knows what in his drink. All I see is fumes coming
Well,
out.
I had a match.
Oh, match your shirt. So, I won't even ask.
Don't even
I
go
won't
there.
even
So what do you think?
Well, I love the Maduro from the first time we got them in years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the Maduro and the Connecticut were my 2 favorites right off the bat. I mean, I just love the cigar. What are the retail points on these cigars?
They were.
I put that in the form of a question.
Yes.
I believe the Toro is $9.50.
Okay.
Island Jim. I
Ding, you
believe-
are correct.
The Island Gym's probably very close to that.
You wanna go for 2?
No.
And the Island Gym too?
Would be the same price point.
Oh.
Maybe 50 cents more.
Right.
Okay, so they're right in the sweet spot of,
sweet
of what sweet spots are anymore.
Yeah.
So tell us, I'm sure our audience always is interested. How in the hell did you get into this business? What caused you to get into business? What were you doing before, if you can legally speak about that?
Yeah.
He's not on the line.
Well, prior to the cigar industry, I was managing Marriott hotels. And I worked for a company called I worked for several different management companies, but the biggest one I worked for was Interstate Hotels, and traveled all over the country doing that. Retired from the hotel industry and decided I didn't want to work anymore. So, being the smart guy I was, I opened a cigar shop.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. You know,
Little did you know.
you know how to
Little
make.
did I know.
You know how to make $1 million in the cigar shop
I
business.
started
don't you?
with 5.
Started at least 5.
I know. Start with $1 million.
So from the hotel business to the cigar industry, opened a little cigar shop in Pittsburgh, and after having my shop for about 8 years, I decided I want a house cigar. And the house cigar, the first house cigar I made, I partnered up with Oscar, and the cigar we came up with was the Leaf by Oscar.
Yeah. Interesting.
That is pretty cool.
And you still have your cigar shop.
Still have the cigar shop.
Do you spend much time there?
No, I'm on the road more than I'm there.
Okay.
When I'm in town in Pittsburgh, yes, I'm there. I'm working
Yeah.
the shop, but
And it's called Leaf and Bean, right?
Leaf and Bean. Leaf and Bean in the Strip.
So if you're in Pittsburgh, stop by Leaf and Bean, especially if you're on the Strip, or if you're going to the Strip. Never mind.
Yeah.
Are you from Pittsburgh, or where are you
No,
originally
Rich, I'm from upstate New York, Syracuse,
Ah,
and
I know Pulaski very well.
I met my ex-wife in Pittsburgh when I was managing a hotel there, and when we went through a divorce, we had a baby at the time. She had a baby at the time, and I wanted to watch my son grow up. So I said that's why I retired and opened a cigar shop, so I'd be there, not on the road, watching my son grow up.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
He's now 19, and he doesn't really talk to me.
Ah,
Oh, well. That's a tough one. That's tough.
Not that he doesn't want to; he just has so many other things in his life, apparently, that he has to do.
So you're no longer the limo driver of the ATM
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah. Well, I'm still the ATM.
You know how busy these millennials are.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my daughter will be 38 in a couple weeks, but thank goodness I can always borrow from her.
That's
She's
true.
richer than I am.
Probably.
Well, rich is not the right word, especially with me. But
Yeah. I know you make I like the Lancero size.
Yeah.
Now, originally you made the Lancero for one store per shop in a state.
Correct, yeah.
Correct? Is that still that way?
No, that was only for the first year.
Okay.
And that's what I told everybody the first year, one shop per state.
great
Right.
marketing tool.
And then after the first year, it was open to anybody that wanted to carry it.
Okay, because I knew we had it,
Yes. Yep.
and obviously you guys. So it was Pennsylvania had 2.
Yeah.
So
Well, you got Pittsburgh and Philly markets.
Right.
that's cool. I love that size, the Lancero. I think it's a fantastic.
You can
cigar.
thank Jorge at Stogie's in Houston for the Lancero.
Oh,
Really?
I don't know if you know, but Jorge is a big Lancero. He probably has every company he deals with has to make a Lancero for him.
Wow.
So he asked us to make the Lancero.
Yeah.
And he actually asked me, can we, when he made the Lancero, he wanted to be exclusive. And that's when I decided, okay, I don't want to make it, I don't want to put a cigar into production for just one shop.
Yeah, it's tough
I
to
said,
do.
I will make it exclusive for a year, one shop per state. And then that's how that came to be.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Interesting.
All thanks to Jorge.
Well, the next time I see Jorge, I'll say thank you.
You're a very generous guy. You give, a lot of guys talk about their beginnings and how they got into the business, how their own brand evolved. But you give all the praise and all the glory to the guys that really, were there for you to develop these cigars for you and give you the ideas, the name, the
Correct,
moniker,
yeah.
the marketing idea. That's pretty nice. That's pretty rich.
I'm not smart, so I try to surround myself with smart people.
That
and
means
then-
you're
and-
smarter.
Then I take the credit for it.
You're smart too.
Ronald Reagan did the same thing.
Oh, let's not go on.
Yeah.
Let's not go down the road of politics right now.
Mark,
Uh,
since you've been saying nothing, how did you get in the business, cigar business? Where do you come from?
he was forced to by his parole officer. It was either go
That's
back
probably
in,
not far from the truth.
Right.
go back in, or sell cigars. Are you
Yeah, how'd you get your start?
Are you sure
Mark?
you made the right decision?
I made the right decision. This is a great.
Well, he met his
industry.
wife that way.
That's
True. It's very true.
Beautiful woman
once-
that she is.
Right,
Yes.
right, and patient.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh
God,
God,
for
yeah.
her. If there's nothing else, this industry, when it gets its claws in you, it doesn't let you go. And
That's
I've been
true.
in it for 18 years, but I actually went to school as an English major, and back in 2000, I answered an ad for an editorial assistant for a men's lifestyle magazine.
Aha, we all know what that one
we
was.
all know. If you don't know what that means at home, that could mean a porn magazine. And I have answered ads where it suddenly became a such and such a publication, and I just knew I couldn't go home and face my my Irish Catholic mother and
So
say I
you-
work for
in the porn industry,
in the porn industry.
especially as
But
an actor.
I did answer one ad, and it turned out to be Cigar Aficionado magazine, and that's how I got my break. I went in for an interview. I was a cigar smoker at the time, and they gave me my shot, and from there it evolved. 4 years behind a desk writing, and then 12 years on the road for
Another major brand.
little company called Rocky Patel,
Yep.
and then you know, heading out to do my own thing and working for great people like Jim and other cigar manufacturers.
You're what we call an independent broker.
Correct.
You represent several cigar brands.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
There's few. We've been in the business, going on 25 years now, and back then considering there were much fewer companies, but there were more brokers.
Right.
When I started out, there were a lot of brokers. A lot of brokers had big portfolios, and only the couple major accounts had their own sales force on the road. So the business has evolved. So most of the companies now have their own sales force, and there's fewer independent brokers. But a lot of the independent brokers have really good lines, like you have with
Right.
Jim and a few others. So yeah, I guess in the end it works out. Not every company can afford to field a field sales staff because
Yes.
it's expensive.
And I believe it's an evolving position within the industry.
You think it's coming back?
I do. I mean, we now know that the premium cigar industry is as strong as it was at the end of the cigar boom in the
Yeah,
late '90s,
yeah.
and there's more and there's so many smaller companies that are producing some of the best cigars on the marketplace.
Oh, it's a good time to be a smoker.
It's a great time to be a
Good
smoker.
quality,
Yeah.
reasonable prices. No, yeah, I think this is the best. And considering that a lot of the domestic cigar companies are making big inroads in Europe and Asia, because I don't think it's any great secret that even though everybody seems to think that Cuba dominates the rest of the world, and in fact does have a huge presence,
Sure.
but the quality of the Cuban cigars over the last 10 or 15 years has just not been. I mean, there are many manufacturers in Honduras and Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic that I think run rings around
Yeah.
the Cuban cigars. And as an aficionado of Cuban cigars myself, having spent probably 30 trips down there and getting the best of the best from my friends down there, the domestic manufacturers and their operations down there in the islands are just running rings around Cuba. So you see more and more presence of Europe, in Europe especially, of domestic cigar makers brand. Or do you sell overseas?
Yes, we do.
There you go.
Yeah, Oscar was just at the Dortmund show.
Yeah, yep, the big trade
As
show.
a
in
lot
Dortmund.
of the manufacturers work.
Wow.
And 20 years ago there wouldn't have been any there.
Absolutely not.
That show didn't even exist.
Correct.
And if it did, it existed more for snuff and things they do more in Europe than we do here in this country. So the whole world is realizing that there's more to cigars than just Cuba.
Right.
And as you so rightly said, it is a good time to be a cigar smoker.
Everybody's making great cigars nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to. It's so competitive. There's so many decent cigars out there that you really have to, raise above the fray, so to speak.
And going back to the broker concept, I started with a broker concept, and I've continued having nothing but brokers. I don't have in-house sales. And when I started, I'm such a small company. The broker concept, John Demharder, who we all know,
Oh,
Yeah,
great
love it.
guy.
recently retired.
Great
He
guy.
was my first broker.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of other good brands that he
Yes.
was brokering.
Yep.
So that got me in the door. Walking in by myself with an
Yeah,
in-house
that's a
staff,
really
I
good
would
point.
not, I would not have
That's
got
a really
this
good point.
in front of people
Yeah.
as fast as we did.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's a great point. I never even thought of that. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's who you know. I mean, really, this is a business, I don't know if we've ever touched on this, especially from our side of the tracks. I guess actually on both sides of the tracks, that's very relationship driven. You patronize a store because the people treat you right and they have a decent selection and the prices are reasonable. But when we buy the cigars, a lot of the cigars we buy, especially cigar brands that are relatively new or have not been in the marketplace a long time, it's the relationship that the representative has with us that may determine whether we bring the cigars in or not.
Absolutely.
So this being such a tiny industry, I mean, I always say it's Bill Gates' pocket change for a month, this whole industry. And relatively speaking, it is. But it's very important to us. Obviously, it's very important to you because you patronize our stores and the other brick and mortar stores throughout the country. And, we have to always be on our toes, and customer service, first and foremost is what we're all about. But you can buy a cigar anywhere. And, given a quarter or a half a dollar, the prices are all about the same. So what makes things stand out, especially in this part of the world, is having comfortable lounges to sit in during the winter time, which we're now upon, well, not quite into the winter, but it's starting a little chill on the pumpkin, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you vote with your pocketbook. And when we see the reviews you give us online, it's very gratifying. I'm sure as a retailer yourself, you can appreciate the fact that your customers could buy a cigar anywhere.
Anywhere.
You're not the only shop in Pittsburgh. We're not the only shop in this area. Although
Almost.
we do
Working on it.
We do have a lot of stores, but we don't have them on every single corner. Although we're working on it, but it's gratifying when we see a lounge filled with guys and gals that are having a good time, smoking the cigars, BSing with each other, and it just, even after 25 years, I still get a kick out of it. I still really enjoy seeing people getting together, enjoying having the same love of the leaf that we all have, and I don't know how else to describe it. And I'm sure, again, when you work your retail store, you feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. So enough of my long-windedness.
And it's always exciting as a retailer too to introduce your customers to a new
Yeah.
cigar. Whoever cigar it is, when you just have a new product come in, you're excited about it. You can't wait to show your customers.
And
Yeah.
often people walk in and the first thing's out of their mouth, what's new?
What's new?
Yeah.
What's new?
Yep.
This is really a good cigar. We're going to review it in a minute or two. Well, at least two of us are going to review it.
Yeah, you can do what you want. I'm really loving this cigar. It's got a really interesting taste to it. It's got. I'm getting a nutty taste and a sweet taste at the same
Right.
time. It's weird. It's complex.
The sweetness is there.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of
there.
the sunglasses.
It's because of the sunglasses. It's a very complex cigar.
So not to put you on the spot, and these shows are not rehearsed. What's next? What's new?
What's
What's
new?
coming?
I have some new things in the works, but I don't release what they are until I know for sure it's going to happen. But I'm always working on new blends with different people. I got a couple things that Oscar's hopefully working on for me. I got some other manufacturers to come up with other leaf by. My leaf by series, if people haven't realized it, because I've really never said it, but I named my cigar after the factory owner that makes it for me. So that's why
Leaf
I have
by
the
Oscar, yeah,
Leaf by
yeah.
James, Leaf by Omar,
Yeah.
Leaf by Esteban. I always give the credit to whoever makes the cigar for me.
Leaf by Omar?
Leaf by Omar.
Which Omar?
Omar, the guy, and I always have a hard time with his last name because he has like 3 last names, and I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to
Oh,
use.
no, it's not the Omar I'm thinking
No,
of.
no.
Okay.
It's Omar, who has La Corona factory in Esteli. He used to work at the La Corona factory in Cuba.
Yeah, I'm
and
familiar with
he's-
that one.
and the cigar that he's probably most known for making in Esteli is Hiroshi Rabanya, the HR
Oh,
cigar.
yeah, sure.
That's a great cigar.
I'll tell you a funny story real quick about the La Corona factory in Cuba. Many, many years ago, sometime maybe middle 90s, I'm down there on a humanitarian trip. And in those days, we didn't have phones with cameras in them. We didn't have phones, especially not in Cuba. They had no cell service back then. I had a camera. And a typical, even though we were there on humanitarian purposes, I had made friends in the Cuban tobacco industry. So my friend had taken me over to La Corona, which doesn't have tours for tourists. But, I was able to get in with him. And I remember he got called to a meeting, and I had to wait a few minutes, and I was standing outside, and right across the street from the La Corona factory is like a beautiful last turn of the century military building, but it was used by the government for clerks and stuff. But out front is the famous tank that when they first landed, the rebels first landed to take out Batista, that tank there as a memorial. So I was taking pictures of it. I'm taking pictures of the tank, taking pictures of the
I
building.
can see where this is going.
Yeah, beautiful building. No, it's not going where you think it's going.
Okay. I see.
So I didn't think anything of it. And in all my trips to Cuba, I was never accosted by anyone. Nobody's listening to your call. It's not like you think. Well, I haven't been there in a while, but I'm sure it's gotten easier, not harder. So when I got home, and I actually sent the film to get developed. You remember those days? You sent film to get developed?
Yeah, like 6 or 7 months later.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, something like that. I get the pictures back, and sure enough, in one of the pictures, and I didn't see it when I was actually taking the picture. I wasn't really looking for it, but behind some small trees and bushes was a guided missile installation. I mean, that wasn't a decoration. That was hidden, and I guess throughout the island, they probably have, God forbid somebody unfriendly flies over. And to this day, I still have the picture.
I thought you were saying it was going to be an alien or something.
No, it was no alien. It was a guided. It was a mobile
Spaceship
thing with
or
a
UFO.
missile on it. I mean,
UFO or
there's
something.
no mistaking it. I mean,
Some guy wearing a green hat with a beard.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all. Nobody. I never saw him there in Cuba, but I did. We were driving around downtown Havana, and all of a sudden, all the roads were closed. You had to pull over, and they had cops on every intersection, and a couple of like big black whatever SUVs or something, and then a long Mercedes limousine with shades drawn. And after it all passed, we turned to one of the cops stopping everybody, and we said, "What was that?" He said, "El Comandante." That's what they call him down there. Did before he died, El Comandante. All right, John, you and I are the only ones reviewing this one, so let's be quick.
Well, real easy. Remained very smooth, very sweet throughout. I'm not big on nuts and fruit descriptions, so I'll
Because
just
you're
say,
getting tired of people calling you that.
well, I'm used to that.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those cigars that you just want to keep on smoking.
You're power smoking that thing. You really like it, don't you?
You are really sucking
Yeah.
on that stuff. So put a number on it.
9.25.
Nice.
Okay, your Island Jim, 2.
Island Jim, I think this is really good. I'm getting the sweetness from the Maduro wrapper. I'm getting a nuttiness from something. You say is Nicaraguan, or did you say it's Honduran?
Which one are you smoking?
The two.
Two.
The two. Well, there's 2 Island Jims. Do you have the one with the sombrero or the one with the hat I have on now?
The hat you have on now.
Yeah, that's a Habano wrapper.
Okay. It's very tasty. I'm getting a nutty taste, like a hazelnutty taste. I give this a 9.5. I think it's fantastic.
No, thank you.
Well, as I said earlier, I like this Maduro from the first time we tasted it years ago when he first came out with them. And I can't really improve upon what John had to say, although it's not that hard to do. Basically, I love the cigar, always have. The price is great. And I give it a 9.5. So we want to thank Jim and Mark for gracing us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Appreciate
on.
it.
Wahoo.
Thanks for stopping in.
Wahoo!
Woohoo!
Continued success.
Wahoo.
And don't forget, all our stores have Island Jim's products in
Ciao
them.
for
So
now,
we'll see you
everybody.
next